What's going on, everybody? In today's video, we're going to start talking about the numbers that you see on your launch monitor. Does not matter which one. Obviously, I use FlightScope, but this applies to any launch monitor that you want to then change or manipulate. And how are you mechanically going to do that? So we're going to be going through this in a series of videos and building you a golf swing, not just randomly hoping that things are going to get better. We are going to show you how we build it as coaches. This is what we look at, and hopefully this will help you build a golf swing that you like and that's going to help you shoot lower scores. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? Scott Oden coming at you. We're in the studio. Before we jump into the video, again, we're going to be talking about mechanics of the swing, but if you want more personalized help, make sure you check out down below. We have our upcoming Own Your Swing Boot Camp. That is going to be your chance for a month to be able to work with me on your game online, all right? So you send in your swings, you get all the feedback you want. Let's get you a plan that's going to help you that you can then work on throughout the winter. That is what we want to do in that boot camp. So sign up down below today. It is filling up. Don't miss out on it, all right? Now, when we start talking about the video here today, okay, in this series, we're going to be talking about different numbers that we are looking at on our launch monitor. Now, we aren't going to be talking about what the numbers mean. We've already done that here on the channel. I will link those in the card above if you need to go refresh. You know, if you need to know what does horizontal swing plane mean, go check those videos out. We go through all of that. On these videos, we're going to be giving you ways to alter or basically change your swing to improve your ability to control these numbers. Now, there's not going to be too many where we say, hey, you have to hit this specific number. It's going to depend on what you are looking for in your swing, and we'll make sure to mention that as we're going through. Now, this also is how we coach, all right? This is how good coaches coach, I should say, all right? You go through a system and you build up foundations, and then you continue building. You don't just randomly throw things in and hope that it's going to work. Now, that does mean you have to work, you have to take time, you have to practice things, you have to understand how motion is developed. Those are things you have to keep in mind. If you don't want to do that, you might not want to watch these videos, because we're going to be expecting you to conquer a video or essentially a task before you move on to the next one, all right? So keep that in mind as we're going through these. Today, the first one we're going to talk about is smash factor, or essentially center of hit, right? That's what we want to see. You need to understand how to get the center of this golf club back to the golf ball, all right? If you don't understand how to do that, then you don't know what the task is, so everything else you're doing is going to just be off. You can have the best swing in the world, but if you don't know how to get the center of the face back to the ball, it's not going to work. And a lot of people will say, well, Scott, if I have a good golf swing, then I'm just going to hit the center of the face. Sometimes that's true, but overwhelming majority, that is not true. I teach so many people where it's like, man, you hit the ball or you swing it really good, but you don't hit the ball anywhere near the face. A lot of times it's on the heel, especially with a driver, and they'll end up breaking their driver unless they fix it. But it can be tough because they have to slow down and they have to get a feel for how to deliver that club, okay? So first off, from a number standpoint, what are we looking for? Obviously, we're looking for center of the face contact. This is a good example here. I am hitting a 6-iron, so your smash factor will depend on the club you're hitting. Right now, I'm at 1.36. That's actually pretty good for a 6-iron. Tour average is going to be in the upper 1.3s, maybe up in the 1.40 range for smash factor. Now, the golf ball you play will matter. I play the Pro V1, slightly lower compression golf ball. The ball speed will be down, okay? If I was to put a Pro V1X in or any higher compression ball, automatically, if I hit the ball the same, the ball will come off faster. That's part of why those balls exist, okay? And we can go over more about that in a different video, but you got to take that into account as you're hitting your golf ball. The ball matters when it comes to speed, and smash factor is all about club speed and ball speed. What's that relationship, okay? So what do we typically see when people go to hit the golf ball? Well, they can't get their hands. They think about the golf swing incorrectly, in my opinion, where when they go to swing, they don't keep the relationship of their hands and the club head. You know, when I'm set up here, my hands are inside of the club head. So when I swing, when I'm coming through the ball, I need to keep that relationship. Okay. Now, as you go through the rest of the swing, you know, you might have the club pitching certain ways and all of that. But as we're coming back down to the ball, you need to get that relationship restored, whether you do it through some pivot, whether you do it through using your hands and arms, whatever it is, you have to restore that relationship of hands to the club head and where they are in relation to your body. Okay, that's why when we see really good ball strikers, when they set up, if you draw a circle around their hands and then they go up and they come in and they swing, that club comes back and their hands are either in that circle again or that's really, really close. What do we see from bad ball strikers? They go down, they throw their hands out at the ball, okay, because they're thinking, all right, I got to swing out at it or something like that. I got to hit the ball, and they're thinking with their hands. And what ends up happening is hands are high, and what that does to the golf club is if my hands go high, if you watch it here, if I move the handle up, club head's going to move in. Handle goes that way, club head moves that way, okay? Vice versa. If I go handle down, club head moves that way, right? The golf club is a seesaw. That is a good concept for you to start to grasp as you're swinging. Whatever one end does, the other end is basically doing the opposite, okay? That is a huge idea to grasp, okay? So as my club is coming down, as I get the hands working close to the body, that club head actually works out more to the golf ball, right? That's something that you see. So that's what we want people to understand as they go through. So how do we get people to develop this? Well, what I'll have people do is you start off. Now, we are assuming a couple of things, a good grip. We are assuming that you have a decent setup. Those are things that we would check. That's the first thing we check because we just want to get those things out of the way. But if I have a setup that's pretty decent and a decent grip, all we're going to do is I want to see people bring the club back and bring it back about halfway or so. I tell them feel like it's a 20% swing. It's not going to actually look that way, but whatever it feels like to them. And then we're going to go through, and I want to feel that relationship of the golf club, okay? And they'll hit it, and it doesn't matter the speed that you swing, right? Because this is a ratio. My club head speed can be slower, all right? But the ball speed will come down proportionately if I hit it well. So what I typically see when we first do this is we'll get shots that are out on the toe. Okay, we usually see the toe. Sometimes we see the heel. That's rare, but it does happen. And the smash number will drop. We're at 1.25 on that one. That's a big deal. That's a lot of drop for the ball speed. We do not want that much drop in our club speed, okay? We want the ball to come out fast. So, again, what happens to people when I start seeing these toe shots, we'll start saying, all right, hey, we need the club head to move more out to the golf ball. So to do that, we need to feel our hands working more down, and then that club head can work more out. So we give them a little test of it, and we let them try it, okay? And we'll see what we get as far as that contact. That's why impact location has been my favorite addition to the Mevo Plus, because it is so important as we go through to get better. Now, you can see that shot. It took a second for it to load up, but here comes that shot. Second time through, here we go. We're looking at dead center of the face. That smash factor, 1.41 on this 6-iron. That's exceedingly good, okay? That's a very good strike. So we get people to start understanding how to put the center of the face onto the golf ball. And we're not talking about path or anything like that just yet, but we can't do any of those things. We can't start moving the golf club around and expect our hands and everything to start picking up, hey, I still know how to get the center of the face there. If you can't do it on a simple little smaller swing, you need to get it. And you can see these feel small. They're not really that small of swings. Most people are really surprised, like, man, I'm hitting it really far for such a little effort swing. Great. That's what we want, okay? And when you look at it, notice how as I start to try to keep my hands working in that circle around me, what happens to my body and my pivot? Notice how as I realize, hey, I need to be able to get my hands in that position and keep that relationship of the club and the ball and the club head, right? Then my body starts to move and help it out. That is what we're looking for. I want as many freebies as possible. I want you to think about as little as possible, but get the most out of your swing. So when you're hitting, especially this winter, pay attention to your smash factor. It needs to get up there. It doesn't matter who you are. You can have a high smash factor. That just is a number that's relationship from your club head and your ball speed. Okay, you can get that number up, and we want to. That's going to be your first goal. Once we can do that, and I'm confident that people understand how to get that club to travel to the ball, we can start maneuvering the golf swing in different ways, create shapes, create a ball flight, add speed, all of that stuff. Now, one thing I want to add, we talked about the toe hit. How do we move that? Well, let's talk about the heel hit. Again, we don't see this much, but when people are hitting it off the heel, this tends to be a lot harder for people to fix. So my go-to drill is we need to start looking at why does that happen first. Well, what ends up happening is people go to hit the ball and they're swinging so far out and they're going out at the ball. The club is moving so far in that they then need to move their body, and that's where we get a lot of early extension, things like that. They start moving everything, and it starts causing a lot of problems. Again, there's a lot of things that start happening to create that heel hit. So we really have to simplify things down. So what I try to get people to do is I'll take a tee. We have a ball. I'm going to place the tee on the inside, a good amount. That's about an inch or two. And we set up to the golf ball, and we're going to try to hit both objects. I want them to hit the ball. I want them to hit the tee, okay? So if I do that, looks something like this. So let's set up to the ball. Okay, we'll do that. What happens is they start to realize that they can hit decent golf shots. You're going to hit it more on the toe, which is fine because we want to move you away from the heel. If we're going from the heel to the center, we actually always have to go farther to be able to end up back in the middle. So if you're going from heel, go to the toe, then you can get to the middle. It's the Goldilocks theory, just right, too hot, too cold, just right, right? That is what we're looking for as we're going through this. And what you're learning is, all right, I can swing in a way and hit actually a decent shot. It's not great, but I can hit a decent shot by just feeling as I swing that I'm moving my hands closer to my body. I'm not letting them drift out away, which then actually kicks my butt back, which then keeps my chest down, which eliminates early extension, allows my body to rotate. See where I'm going with all this? It starts to really build, and you start building a ton of really, really, really good fundamentals into your golf swing. So this is always where I'm starting, because the last thing I want to mention is if you're hitting it on the toe, you're hitting it on the heel, you don't know where it's going to go. This iron shot, and we're going to talk about this in an upcoming video where we do some live lessons, but if you're hitting the ball and it's not on the center of the face, where it goes is random, okay? It doesn't matter. You could say, hey, I got to swing more in to out. I got to do this. I got to do that. You don't know that because the ball is not telling you the truth, okay? Now, your launch monitor will tell you, but the shot that you're seeing from the numbers isn't going to match to the shot that you're seeing on your launch monitor, no matter which one it is, okay? Doesn't matter, all right? It's just a matter of You need to hit the center of the face to start being able to work properly through and get better at golf. All right, so that is how we work through getting the club on the center of the face. Start small. Start small. You can start smaller than even I did. Okay, again, those feel like 20-30% effort swings. Doesn't maybe look like it, but that's just the feeling, and then I would work my way up. But that would be something that we're looking at. All right, I gotta go. Launch monitor's a little tired, but we're gonna get ourselves working on our game here a little bit as we go through this. Okay, so if you have any questions for me, please leave a comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.